It's early in the morning, and I'm gonna get the rack finished up for the dinghy. That way we can finally start using it permanently. And once we get this guy all set up, then we can take Tooth 1 back to my parents' house and no longer drag him along behind us. For now, I'm gonna start wrapping the rails with carpet. So I'm gonna get the dinghy up out of the way and then get the carpet seized onto it. So let's get working. So I seized on the carpet here. This is actually carpet used for trailer bunks. So it's designed to be on rails where a boat's gonna slide on it all the time. So it's really good resistance against abrasion. And I tied it on using a double constrictor knot because it is a permanent knot when it's tightened down using 2 marlin spike hitches, as you guys saw me do. So it's never gonna come off. If we ever wanna remove this knot, we actually have to cut the rope because the knot itself won't come untied. So I seized it on in a bunch of places and it's now ready to put the boat back on. With the dinghy sitting firmly on the rack, it's time to make the tie-down straps. So I'm pretty much gonna make a cascade trucker hitch system that we can tighten it down really nice and tight. That way it'll hold put while we're under sail. Now, this system is going to be made out of 3-lay nylon rope, which is stretchy and has a breaking strength of around 400 pounds. So not the strongest thing in the world. When we go to do an offshore stent, we're going to be tying it down with Dyneema. That way, nothing breaks. This is going to hold it very securely and it's not going anywhere. We're just going to do the same in the back on the other 2 pad eyes. And those will be attaching to these elbows instead of a crossbar because there is no crossbar. So now he's tied down diagonally across the middle here. He's also tied down directly onto the side and then diagonally. And lastly, up front, he's tied down directly. So all these lashings together mean that with the winch actually holding him slightly levitated, so it takes all the weight off for me, I still can't budge him off the rack.
I'm making lunch. We are going to have sauteed chicken wraps.
My favorite.
Yeah.
So we usually keep it all covered up, that way it keeps the cold in better, and then the fridge doesn't have to run as hard. But the issue we get is we get a layer of condensation between that those windshield covers we have and the quilt gets kind of soggy. So I got the quilt out up top in the dinghy, drying out on a sunny day, and the solar panels are able to crank out enough power to keep it running. So it's kind of a net zero with a dry cloth. rainwater we've collected in the floops. We're just gonna take it out there and pour it in.
Yay, rainwater.
Maybe one tank at a time.
They're really heavy.
So the Wonder Wash, which is our laundry machine on the boat, disassembles into these guys here. So we're simply gonna piece it all together and then we'll do the laundry right here in the cockpit.
Hey, Morty. Yes.
Alright. Now I store the other little pieces inside the machine. So we have a crank and some pins. So let's get these pins in here. And that's it. That's the whole machine. And if you're interested, I actually did a blog post about this a couple years back when I got it. And I used to do all my laundry in this when I lived alone on the boat. Because for one person, it's pretty darn good. Yes. You dropped a shock.
I noticed. Incoming.
Yes. So this machine actually takes a lot more laundry than you think it would. Just gotta pack it in. Usually one shirt at a time is easier. Now, you might be wondering if this actually gets your clothes clean, and I used to wonder the same thing. I did my laundry in this. No, it'll fit. I did my laundry in this once a week for several months, and no one said I stunk. So I figure the laundry was working. So you actually don't need much soap at all when you do this, just a little bit. And then the bigger your load, the harder it is to rinse. That's the only issue you'll come across. Let's do this first. So you just fill it in until the clothes are floating and the water's above the level of it. But you do need a little bit of an air pocket. That way it has space to like turn around and agitate. Water level's getting up near the top, so we'll just turn it off. And then we just put the lid on. Tighten it down. And now we don't turn too much. It fits up here.
Okay, we think it's done.
Yeah, so it's had a bunch of spins. So now we're gonna bring it down here, dump it out, fill it with clean water, and then do the rinse cycle. Take the lid off, put your hand over it, pour it out. And just keep your hand to keep the clothes inside. And we'll do a rinse cycle. Now that it's full of clean water, we just spin it again, and that'll get the soap out. Now you do one load with soapy water, and then you end up doing like 3 or 4 loads with clean water to get all the soap out. Alright, just pour out this soapy water. Rinse number 2. And the nice thing about these, when they're full, they're big, but when you're done with them, you just take the lid off, just push the back in, flatten this out in there, and they just fold right up. Nice and flat. And then they stow easily.
Morty has found infinite shade. Hey boy. Didn't mean to disturb you.
Morty went swimming earlier, and now he's all salty, so he needs a bath before he can go back in the boat. And he knows he's going to get a bath, and he won't even look at us.
Morty, come on, bud.
Come on, go.
I know you.
Go.
Come on.
Morty, come on. Let's go.
Morty.
Come on.
Come on. Oh, yeah. Soapy, soapy dog. Very, very sad dog.
Off roams the wild forest corgi. He is well adapted for this terrain. He can walk lower than all the trees and the bushes. He merely emerges amongst the roots. Yes, he is a very versatile creature. Frequent stretching keeps him agile and young. Wild forest corgi is now entering some grass. He is walking through the grass. Soon he will begin watering the grass. Ah yes, this is the life of the wild forest corgi. Yes, he is an amateur of camouflage, hiding behind roots and twigs. Attempts to climb a hill, but he cannot. Doomed to roam close to the surface of the earth, living a life no higher than sea level.
Next time on Sailing Wisdom, we finally get our sail back, and you'll find out where we decide to go first. Thanks so much for watching, and if you want to become a sailing buddy, you can click the link down below to our Patreon account.
Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel, and when you click subscribe, make sure you click on the little bell in the annotation. That way you get notifications as soon as our next video is uploaded.
Thanks so much!